Hello, I'm DeDe. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll add twists, turns, and rotations to our yoga poses to create greater awareness as well as increase our mobility. And here's what you'll need. The cats are optional. You will need a folded towel, some water for hydration, a yoga mat if you're on a hard floor like I am, plenty of space around you, whether you're on a mat or not. And of course, you're going to need to figure out what's right for you and what's not, and you'll skip the things that aren't right for you. I'll give you lots of modifications, but you may need to take a moment and rest, for example, and you'll do that when you need to. All right, so we're coming down into a flat on our back position. And some people like to come down this way. That feels better for them. Some people like to come down more of a kind of a split stance, almost like a lunge. Or you may have an even better way that works for you. So you come down the way that works for you. And then you may want a folded towel underneath your head as a pillow, because like I said, we're going to lie on our back. So put the folded towel under your head if you need it. And then we'll come all the way down. Get comfortable. Try not to look over at me the whole time. Try to look over at me as little as possible. Shoulders away from ears. We're going to keep our knees bent for this. Do separate your feet. Turn your toes in and let your knees lean against one another. And that way you can relax totally while still having your knees bent. And then we'll wrap our arms gently around our torso so we can hug our hands against our side ribs. And then feel free to close your eyes here and start to breathe more deeply. Try to breathe through your nose so we can filter the air and moisturize the air better than if we were breathing through our mouth. Even though we have our arms wrapped around our torso, we're still trying to be soft and relaxed through our shoulders and our back muscles. So now start to become aware of the extreme expansion and contraction of our ribs that goes with our deep breathing. Feel that this connective tissue that holds our ribs together is very elastic and it moves so we can breathe. Encourage as much of that elastic expansion and contraction as possible. So by focusing on this expanding ribcage breathing, we're effectively slowing down our breath, which is giving a signal to our nervous system to relax. So it's a wonderful process, and hopefully you feel a little bit more relaxed as a result. And then if your eyes are closed, you can open them. And let's stretch our arms out. They don't have to be straight out from the shoulders, but they can be. They can be lower than that. Now let's inhale with the palms up. And then on the exhale, rotate your entire arm, not just your hand, so the palm is down. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, palms up, and rotate from your shoulders now. Exhale, palms down. So this is our first rotation of many. So think about your elbows. The pointy, bony part of your elbow is down when your palms are up, and then the pointy and bony part of your elbow is trying to turn up when your palms are down. Can you feel that happening? You want that to happen in a way that doesn't feel painful or like it's hurting your shoulders. But that's one way that we know that we're actually rotating from our shoulders, is when the elbow turns. All right, now this time we'll turn the palms up. And again, you do not have to have your arms straight out from your shoulders, but you can. Now we still have our feet wide, but now we've separated our knees and the feet are pointing straight ahead. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, your knees go to one side and your head turns opposite. And then we'll switch. These wide stance windshield wipers. This is another rotation. This one is through our spine and also through our hip joints, because we're getting some internal and some external rotation through each of our hips, each of our hip joints. Turning your head opposite your knees, that gives you some rotation up through your cervical spine, your neck area. Warming up our hips and our back and our neck. All right, let's come back to the center. Your head is in the center, your knees are in the center. Now we'll draw one knee in toward the chest and we'll hold on to the back of the thigh as well as the other. Let your knees bend and then we'll circle around through our ankles in one direction. So there's another rotation. That one's through our ankle joints. And then reverse. All right, and then let's relax the ankles. And now we'll take the hands out from behind the thighs, hold on to the knees, and we'll circle one knee clockwise and one counterclockwise. And there's another rotation. This is actually a type of rotation called circumduction. So our ball and socket joints in our hips are circumducting our femur bones around. And of course, our lower leg bones are going along for the ride. And let's go the other direction. Not all of our joints can circumduct. Our shoulders can, our hips can. And now we'll take both knees in the same direction. Now try to make this motion come mostly from your arm power. And that way you can relax your lower back and feel the wonderful stretch and limbering that's happening through our low back as well as through our hips. Now let's go the other way. It kind of feels like a little bit of a massage, doesn't it? On your low back. Can you feel that? And then we'll come back to the center. Now we don't have to hold on to our legs. Take your arms down to your sides with your palms down. And then we'll press one leg up and then we'll switch to the other leg pressing up. Flex your foot, push up through your heel. Now we're going to angle our legs out a little bit. So place your hand on the side of your leg. Let your elbow rest on the floor. So it's not a lot of effort to support your leg. Can you feel the limbering that's happening here in your hamstrings and your inner thighs? Now let's come back into the center. Once again, your hands are behind your thighs. Circle around through your ankles once again. Let go of any tension in the tops of your feet. Let's go the other way. Are you starting to get more connected with your brain and your body together? All right, we're turning over now, using your hands to press you up. We'll come to a seated position that's comfortable for you. So you may want to sit on your folded towel. You may just want to sit just on the floor or on your yoga mat. Instead of crossing your ankles, try putting one ankle in front of the other. And you can have your feet further out away from you than I do. Make yourself really comfortable here. And then take your arms out and inhale. Look over your right shoulder as you exhale. So this is a rotation. And then inhale center and go around to the other side. Rotation is present in so many of our everyday life tasks. Getting in and out of a car, there's some rotation involved there. And then once you're in the car, if you're driving, looking over your shoulder when you're backing out of a parking spot, looking over your shoulder before you change lanes, that sort of thing. Looking at people in the back seat. Hopefully you're not doing that while you're driving though. Let's do one more. And then we'll come back to the center. Now, whichever leg you have in front, let's try the other leg in front. And then you're still sitting tall. Inhale. Let's side bend now. Exhale over. Allow your shoulders to relax. Just moving with your breath here. One more. All right, now we're coming to our hands and knees. So turn to the side. So when you look at me, you only have to turn your head to the side to see me. And then you may want to put your folded towel into your knees now. I know I do. Let's be up on our fists or flat down on one of your palms. Warm up one of your wrists by circling it around. There's another rotation. And then we'll do the other side. You can still be on your fist here. You don't have to go down to your palms ever if it doesn't feel right for you, at least not for a hands and knees position. Maybe for downward facing dog you do. All right, now let's come to our hands and knees position with knees directly under hips and wrists directly under shoulders. And then we'll lift the tailbone up as we inhale, and then we'll let the tailbone drop down for the exhale. And let's go back and forth here. Think about tailbone high, and then tailbone low. Can you feel that in your low back? I hope it feels good. Try to keep your upper back static. That means not moving. And let this happen through your low back. One more. All right, and then as we tuck under with the tailbone, tuck the toes under as well. And drop your elbows down. Make sure you're not overstretching your feet. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, drop your elbows down. They're just a few inches away from your knees. And if that's too much stretch for your toes, then don't sit down that low. Sit not quite as low. That's fine. Let's do two more of these. Now this time we come up and we untuck the toes, and then we sit into a version of child's pose that works for you. Remember, the different versions are maybe here, or here, or here. Take some deep breaths. We're expanding our ribs through the sides and back of our torso now. Now let's do an alternating arm reach. So sweep one arm forward as you inhale, and then bring it back to wherever it was as you exhale. Then we'll do the other arm. Sweep it forward, inhale, and back. Let's do 4 more of those at your breathing pace. Finish with that last one. All right, now both arms come forward, thumbs up. Stay here for just a moment. Thumbs up. Try to sit a little further back. Otherwise, you can have your palms flat if thumbs up doesn't feel right for you. Now, palms down. Let's inhale and come forward into the kneeling version of plank. And then exhale. When you're ready, slide back into your child's pose. When you're ready to inhale, come forward again. So if you feel like I'm moving way too slow and breathing way too slow, you can move a little faster, but you can also think about deepening your breath. Think about you still have your hands. Imagine you still have your hands on your rib cage, and you're still trying to create that immense expansion and contraction of your ribs. And see if that doesn't slow your motion down just a little bit. Now, as we sit back, turn one hand so the thumb is up, and then as you come forward, flatten out your palm. And we'll do the other one this time. So this is another bit of rotation through our shoulder joints. Can you feel how different the stretch is when you have your thumb up? All right, now this time we have our palms flat and we come only halfway forward. That's your inhale. Exhale, reach one arm through to the opposite side. And then inhale and come up. And exhale, the other arm reaches through. And we'll go back and forth. So if you're not sure what we're doing, take a moment and stop. Watch 1 round or 2 rounds even, just so you have a clear idea. You see that our supporting arm is bending. That's how you're able to get way down. Here's the last one. All right. And then we're coming forward into full plank. So we tuck the toes under, we inhale, lift the knees up, exhale into downward facing dog, and alternate your heels, pressing one heel at a time down. So now as you're doing that, I want you to notice what's happening in your ankles, your feet, your calf muscles. Feel the limbering that's taking place. Now press both heels down evenly, and then you're going to step the leg that's furthest away from me. You're going to step it forward, and then take a second step if you need to get it all the way up. All right, and then we're sinking down into a low lunge. Exhale there, And then inhale as your front leg straightens, and then exhale, drop down. Let's do that a few more times. You can be on your fists or your fingertips. And just a word about when I said your front leg straightens, I mean it's just moving in the direction of straight. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. All right, now straighten your front leg a little bit, and then all of us are going to walk hand over hand around until we're facing the other way and we're in our low lunge. And then we'll go here. So exhale as you sink down, inhale as you straighten, and then exhale as you sink down. Feel what's happening here in your hips and your leg. Just moving with your breath. And then we're on the move again, hand over hand, walking around. Now I want you to just take a peek first before you do this. So here's where we are, low lunge, and then we're going to twist with our back to one another. So join me here, exhale, and then inhale, switch hands, exhale. Now we should be facing one another. Inhale, let's do it again to the original direction. And then inhale and exhale, there's more rotation there. And then let's walk hand over hand around, turning the feet, pivoting. That's a type of rotation, isn't it? All right, sink down, inhale, turn with your back to me as you exhale. And then we'll switch directions. Try to make sure you're exhaling as you twist. Keep straightening your back leg. And then let's inhale. Let's face one another. On the exhale, turn your toes out. So there's that pivot on the heels once again. Now take your hands up onto your thighs. Sit back with your hips and start to elevate your chest. And then we inhale all the way up to 12 o'clock. And then exhale, sit back with your hips down to 6 o'clock. And we'll do that again. All right, now we're staying up. We're turning this way. Make sure that your feet are on a railroad track, not on a tightrope. I always remind you of that. You're on the tiptoes of your back foot. Now this is a high lunge. And then we'll twist from here. So let's do goalpost arms. Inhale, exhale, turn your back to me. Inhale, forward. Exhale, turn toward me. So both knees are a little bit bent. Inhale, and back to me. Inhale, turn toward me. You don't have to turn your head, by the way. Let's come to the center, relax the arms. Come up, keep your balance as you switch directions. Keeping your eyes forward, in this case, this way. If you don't want to turn your head, that'll help you keep your balance if you're having any struggle. You're up on the tiptoes of your back foot, sink down. Goalpost arms or straighter arms this time. Inhale, your back is to me. As you exhale, inhale, turn your chest toward me. And again. Challenging our balance. Come to the center, relax your arms. Let's face one another once again. Now, you can move your extra padding and we'll bring the feet in and we'll find mountain pose. Feet under the hips, slightly unlock your knees. Make your pelvis level all the way around. Palms together. Feel free to close your eyes for a moment here if you'd like. All right, if your eyes are closed, you can let them open. Turn your right knee out. You can keep your toes on the ground. Inhale, exhale, turn to the right. You don't have to turn your head. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the left. You can keep looking at me. Let's do it again. Keep your knee out to the side. And then we're coming back to center and releasing the arms. Both feet down. How did you do? Let's go to the other side. Now remember, you can be close to a wall if you need the support of a wall or the back of a sturdy chair or a countertop. Inhale, turn to the left first as you exhale. Do you want to turn your head? You can. It's more challenging for your balance. Try to keep your knee pointing straight out to the left. And then back to center. Release. Both feet down. Hands together. Close your eyes again if you'd like. Now let your eyes open if they're closed. We're coming back down any way that works for you to come down. And we're going to sit. So again, if you need to sit on your folded towel, make sure that you do that. So we'll have our left leg straight out in front of us with the foot flexed, and then we'll take our right foot across. If this doesn't work for you, keep your right foot on the right side. But if you can, bring your right foot to the left side of your left leg. Make sure that your left leg is not turning out. Your knee is up and your toes are up. Now you're sitting up tall, so you can grab onto your bent leg to help you with your posture. And then we'll take our right hand behind us, keep pushing out through your left heel, and let's look over our right shoulder. So if you have your hand back here, you're going to be inclined, no pun intended, to lean back. So draw the hand in closer and let it help to lift you up like a second spine. Your right arm is that close to your back. Do you feel tension in your neck? You may be turning your head too far. Turn your head only as far as you need to, not far enough to create a bunch of tension. All right, and then we'll come back to center and release the twist. Straighten out your right leg, bend your left knee, and you take your left foot across. Keep reaching out through your heel. Wrap your right arm around, and it's the left hand that goes behind us this time. It's your left arm that's creating that secondary spine. And you're turning through your chest as far as you can. So this is another rotation. Make sure you're still pushing out through your right heel. All right, and then let's release that. Sitting with your legs comfortably folded, whatever that means for you. Let's take the hands behind the back and we'll lace the fingers loosely or tightly if you can. That doesn't mean that you're squeezing excessively. It just means loosely versus tightly. And then pull your shoulders back and press them down. Expand your chest. And if you can lift your arms up behind you, do that. It's okay if you can't. let's release. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. One more time. All right. So did you enjoy all the twists, turns, and rotations, even some circumductions that we did? I hope that you did. I hope you feel more limber, more connected to your body with your brain and your breath. And as usual, thanks for joining me. And until next time, be well.